We wanted to know what the best and most effective practices are for having these difficult conversations with your children. So I got some tips from child psychiatrist Dr. Jeremiah Dickerson.
It's really important for parents to provide space in which to kind of dialogue about this in a thoughtful way.
Explaining to kids acts of domestic terrorism like the storming of the U.S. Capitol is not an easy conversation, but Dr. Jeremiah Dickerson says it's a necessary one.
Kids really need information in order to feel in control and have a greater sense of agency.
Dr. Dickerson says children as young as 3 years old can tell when something is wrong, and they can likely sense their parents' stress, fear, and anxiety. Most kids elementary aged and older want answers, but how you have the conversation with your child depends on their age.
For the younger kids, you do want to kind of keep things more general, try not to go into a lot of details unless the questions are kind of heading in that direction.
Dr. Dickerson says you also want to emphasize to your child that they're safe.
Say, those people were going right to the Capitol building. Those people were not going into your school, that they're not going into our home. And so we're pretty safe here.
For middle and high school students, Dr. Dickerson says you want to keep in mind they're getting a lot of their information or misinformation from social media. It's important to talk to them about what they're seeing and reading about the riot. Dr. Dickerson encourages you then discuss the underlying issues like conspiracy theories, American elections, and democracy.
And then thinking about how you can engage them in dialogue about fostering their own empowerment to make changes. Like, how can you as a teenager stand up for kindness? How can you take action in relation to social justice issues?
Regardless of your child's age, Dr. Dickerson says you should avoid language that paints groups of people with a large brush.
But we have to be careful, I think, talking to kids in a way that indicates, oh, Republicans are bad, or Democrats are good, or vice versa, right? And so I think the more that we can avoid overgeneralizing those thoughts, the better as well.
Dr. Dickerson suggests you note if your child's eating habits are changing, if they seem more withdrawn, or if they start acting more aggressively or become irritable. And if you see these indicators of psychological stress in your child, you are encouraged to call their pediatrician. In the studio, Aaron Brown, Channel 3 News.